I was never famous. Not really. Sure, I had 312,000 subscribers, brand deals with makeup companies, and one of those silver YouTube plaques that used to mean something. But I wasn't a celebrity. I didn't have bodyguards. I lived in a one-bedroom walk-up in a decent but creaky old building in Chicago. My name is Casey Harper, and I was, or maybe still am, the girl-next-door beauty and lifestyle vlogger. Hauls, get ready with me's, chilled day in my life vlogs, skincare tutorials, the occasional Q&A. Nothing dramatic. Nothing edgy. Which is why, when things started to go weird, I didn't realize it was part of a pattern. Not yet. It started with a comment. I'd just uploaded a lazy Sunday vlog, nothing special. I wore a clay face mask, made coffee, did a little closet cleanup, edited, then curled up in bed with my laptop. But at 2:14 a.m., someone left this comment. "You look so pretty when you sleep, smiley face." At first, I laughed. I'd fallen asleep editing and left the camera running. There was a shot, maybe 10 seconds long, of me passed out on the couch, laptop glowing. I figured someone was just being flirty. Creepy, sure. But the internet is full of those. I deleted the comment. Shrugged it off. The next day, I woke up to 4 DMs from different Instagram burner accounts, all saying some version of, "You should really lock your windows." The left curtain was open again. "I like the blue socks you wore last night." That one hit. I had worn blue socks to bed. Fuzzy ones with little white stars. I hadn't shown my feet in the video. I checked. Twice. I lived alone. I double-locked the door. The windows were old but solid. 4th floor. Fire escape on the left side, but I always kept that window locked too. Still, that night, I checked everything again. Triple-checked. Then I got a notification. YouTube comment. New video. Just posted. Except, I hadn't posted anything. The channel name was just a string of numbers, 8240-3492-8831, no profile picture. No banner. No subscribers. The video was called Casey Sleeps February 17th, 24. I clicked it. I will never forget the feeling in my stomach when I realized what I was watching. It was me. In bed. Sleeping. From an angle above my headboard, a view that didn't exist in my own apartment. I watched myself roll over. My phone lit up on the nightstand. My arm reached lazily toward it. I even muttered something. The sound was distorted, but it was there. The video was 5 hours long. Night vision. Timestamped. I felt like I was going to vomit. I scrambled out of bed, turned every light on, and searched my entire apartment. The windows were locked. The front door was locked. There was nothing obvious. Nothing broken. No missing items. But someone had been in my apartment. And filmed me. And uploaded it. The cops were polite. Bored, maybe. They came and looked around. They asked if I'd maybe staged it. I wasn't offended, I got it. There are cloud chasers online who fake stalker stories for attention. One girl even got a Netflix deal. But this wasn't fake. And I told them so. One officer, a younger guy, seemed to take it more seriously. He took the URL of the video, noted the channel name, and said he'd look into the IP if it was traceable. Then they left. No forced entry. No broken locks. No case. The video vanished off YouTube later that night. The first one arrived on a Tuesday morning. No return address. Just a plain brown box with my name printed in black ink. No handwriting. Inside, a single Polaroid photo. It showed me filming a skincare video. I recognized the outfit. A hoodie and leggings from 3 weeks ago. The shot was taken from outside my bathroom window, the one I always thought was too high to see into. No note. No caption. Just the photo. Me, walking to my car. Me, unlocking my front door. Me, sleeping again, this time from the foot of the bed. All Polaroids. All mailed. All unstamped. Which meant someone was dropping them off by hand. I didn't upload for 2 weeks. Told my followers I was taking a mental health break. My DMs filled up with sweet messages, fan art, and love. But I kept looking for his name. The channel. The numbers. And I kept seeing them. 8240, on a license plate and a TikTok I scrolled past. 3492, on a hoodie in a thrift haul video someone tagged me in. 8831, spray painted behind me on a wall during an old video. One I shot months ago. It couldn't be a coincidence. Then the second video dropped. Again, I hadn't posted. This one was silent. Just me, sitting on my couch, eating takeout Thai food and watching a Netflix show on my laptop. But there was no camera in my living room. No webcam running. No live stream. And the angle was low, near the floor, as if someone had set a phone behind my TV console. The creepiest part? Halfway through the video, I stood up to throw out the container. As I walked off frame, I said, clear as day. Okay, but like, imagine if someone was actually watching this right now. And I laughed. Like a joke. Like an innocent, stupid joke I didn't know I'd made at the time. But it was on camera. Posted by the channel. My best friend, Liv, offered her place for a few nights. I accepted. I didn't tell my followers where I was, didn't post, didn't film a thing. We laughed, drank wine, watched trash TV. I felt normal again. For a minute. Then the third package arrived. Addressed to Liv's apartment. Delivered to the doorstep. Inside, a USB drive. And a note. You look even cuter when you think you're safe. The USB drive looked cheap, plastic, scratched, unbranded. One of those you'd get at a tech convention or trade show. But it was cold in my hand, like it had just come from somewhere cold. I stared at the note again. You look even cuter when you think you're safe. Liv stood behind me, arms crossed over her chest, trying to play it cool. But I could see her skin had gone pale. This wasn't YouTube drama anymore. It wasn't internet weirdos or clickbait stories. Someone had followed me here. To her place. Found us. Watched us. Delivered this package without anyone hearing a thing. I already did last time. Call them again. So I did. And this time I didn't sugarcoat anything. I told the dispatcher everything, the videos, the packages, the Polaroids, the USB. I didn't care if I sounded paranoid. I was paranoid. And I was right to be. 2 officers came. Not the same ones as before. I showed them the note. The flash drive. One of them, Officer Green, raised an eyebrow. You haven't plugged this in, have you? I shook my head. Don't, he said. Let's get it to tech crimes. The other officer looked at Liv's security camera feed. It didn't help, nothing showed up between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. Whoever delivered it had known the camera's blind spot. They left after an hour. Promised to contact a cybercrime unit. Liv and I just sat on her couch in silence, not knowing what to say. I deleted Instagram, locked Twitter, set my YouTube to private. No uploads. No stories. No lives. Radio silence. The channel, 8240-3492-8831, didn't post anything else. No new videos. No comments. No signs of life. For a week, things were still. Then I got the email. Subject, your channel was accessed from a new device. It was a Gmail alert. Someone had logged into my YouTube account from a device in Gary, Indiana. I hadn't been near Indiana in over a year. I checked my recovery settings, changed every password, locked everything down. But the damage had already been done. Whoever it was had already posted a video. Not on their channel. On mine. Uploaded to Casey Harper Official. Video title, Final Thoughts, February 28, 24. I stared at the screen in disbelief. My profile. My thumbnail. My branding. But the video. It opened with darkness. Just the sound of faint breathing. Then a voice, warped, mechanical, like it had been run through layers of distortion, whispered. "You asked for this." Then the screen flickered on. The footage was me, again. I was brushing my teeth in Liv's bathroom. From a low angle. Inside the cabinet. I don't even know how long the camera was there. I watched myself spit, rinse, check my face, walk out. The video cut to black again. Another whisper. "You let us in." Then a final clip. This one was filmed in complete darkness. But you could hear something. Footsteps. Breathing. A door slowly creaking open. And right at the end, a frame flashed by so fast I almost missed it. I paused. Rewound. Played frame by frame. It was a still image. Of me. Sleeping. Again. But this time, the Polaroid was tucked under my pillow. I scrambled to the bedroom in Liv's place. Tore off the sheets. Nothing. But then I lifted the mattress. And there it was. One more photo. Undated. Undistorted. Just me. Eyes shut. Curled on my side. A perfect shot from overhead. She didn't say it like that. But I could tell. "I love you," she said, "but this is too much. I have a kid, Casey." I didn't blame her. I packed my bags. Didn't cry. Didn't even speak. I just left. Back to my apartment. Where this all started. And when I got there, the door was unlocked. But not broken. Just unlocked. Like someone had already been inside, and left it that way, like a message. Inside, everything looked normal. Too normal. Bed made. Lights off. Nothing moved. But it felt arranged. Staged. Like someone had studied how I kept things, then copied it perfectly, but missed a detail. My skincare bottles were lined up in reverse order. My nightstand books were stacked differently. The worst part? There was no dust on anything. Like someone had been cleaning. Like they'd been living here. I installed cameras. Everywhere. Bought the best home security gear I could find. 8 cams in total, front door, windows, hallway, kitchen, bedroom, even inside the vents. I went full survival mode. Then I waited. I didn't sleep much. Just sat up, watching live feeds. 4 nights passed. Nothing. On the 5th night, I fell asleep on the couch with the camera feed still open on my laptop. I woke up at 3:47 a.m. to an alert. Motion detected in bedroom cam 2. I clicked it instantly. Nothing. Just static. Flickering. Black and white lines across the screen. Then, for one brief second, the feed stabilized. And I saw someone. Standing at the foot of my bed. Still. Watching. They weren't holding anything. Just standing there. In a hoodie. Face shadowed. Then the feed went dark. I sprinted into the room. Nothing there. But the window was cracked open. I left the apartment the next morning. I didn't tell anyone. Just got on a train and headed 3 hours out to stay with my cousin, Hannah, who lived in a small town near Wisconsin. She was off-grid, barely used social media, and had no clue any of this was happening. She let me stay. No questions. No cameras. No phones. No YouTube. Just silence. 3 days passed. Peaceful, quiet days. No alerts. No packages. No videos. I started to breathe again. Until Hannah's dog, an old golden retriever named Max, started barking one night. Around 2 a.m. He barked at the closet. Not the front door. Not the windows. The closet in the guest room I was staying in. I opened it. Nothing. But taped to the inside of the door was another photo. Not of me. Of Hannah. Walking her dog. From behind. Taken from our front porch. And at the bottom, written in small, faint letters. Found you. You always think you'll do the right thing when something like this happens. That you'll grab your keys, call the cops, run. But when I saw that photo of Hannah, that grainy, overexposed Polaroid of her walking the dog, I just froze. I must have stood there in front of the closet for a full minute. Maybe more. Max was still growling, low and steady, tail down, ears back. He didn't bark anymore. He just watched the dark. I turned the photo over. Nothing written on the back. But something about the paper felt off. Thicker. Warmer. I peeled gently at the bottom edge. Another photo was taped underneath. This one was of me. Standing in Hannah's kitchen. From the outside. Shot through the window. It couldn't have been more than a day old. I was wearing the hoodie I had on right now. We have to leave. That was the first thing I said. Hannah didn't argue. She just grabbed her coat and keys. Max was already at the door. We drove. No idea where to go. Just away. We pulled into a 24-hour diner off the highway after maybe 40 minutes of silence. We sat in the car for a while. Hannah finally said, "Why you?" And for the first time since this all started, I told someone everything. The comments. The videos. The stalker. The photos. The USB. The fact that he had access to my YouTube account. And then, almost like I conjured it into being, my phone buzzed. A notification. YouTube Live. Casey Harper Official is live. But I wasn't streaming. You have to see this. I opened the app. It took a second to load. Buffering. Then, there I was. Not in the car, but in my old apartment. Back in Chicago. The camera was pointed at my couch. The gray one with the floral throw pillow. It was 3:03 a.m. Someone was live streaming from inside my home. The comments were already pouring in. Girl, what kind of content is this? Why is no one talking? This gotta be a prank. Wait. Is that Casey's place? I thought she quit YouTube? I swear I just saw something move behind the couch. I watched in disbelief as the camera slowly tilted, just slightly. A mechanical movement. Not handheld. Not a phone. A mounted webcam. Remotely controlled. It zoomed in. To the hallway. And there, barely visible in the darkness, was a shadow. Just standing. Watching. I screamed. Hannah grabbed the phone, stared at the screen. She said, "That's your apartment?" I nodded. "Call the police." I tried. No signal. Dead zone. We were in a rural stretch of highway, no reception. Hannah's phone had nothing either. I looked back at the stream. The camera was still. But now the figure was gone. The chat had noticed too. Where'd the guy go? Wait. Did the door just open? Yo, this is real. I think this is real. Casey, blink twice if you're okay. That one hit me the hardest. Because they thought it was me streaming. They didn't know I was watching too. And then the stream glitched, just for a second, and the scene changed. Now it was my bedroom. The camera faced the mirror. But you couldn't see the reflection of whoever was filming. Just the room. The lights were on. The bed was empty. And on the pillow was another Polaroid. The camera slowly zoomed in on it. And even in that low resolution, I could see what it showed. Me and Hannah. In the diner parking lot. Right now. From a distance. I dropped the phone. I don't even remember opening the car door. I just remember the cold. The sick feeling in my stomach. And the sound of Max barking wildly. I looked up. On the hill behind the diner, maybe 50 feet away, was a figure. Not running. Not hiding. Just standing. Watching. Same black hoodie. Same slouched posture. And though I couldn't see his face, I knew he was smiling. We drove straight to the nearest police station. It took 20 minutes. The officers took us seriously this time. Probably because I looked like I was about to pass out. Hannah was shaking. Max wouldn't stop pacing. I showed them the live stream. Still running. They pulled up the IP address from the stream. Sent it to their cyber team. They said they'd send someone to my apartment immediately. I begged them to go to Hannah's house too. They did. What they found still haunts me. Hidden in the guest room vent, where I had installed a camera in my apartment just weeks before, was a tiny black device. About the size of a button. It was a wireless micro camera. Battery powered. Wi-Fi enabled. The same kind of device used in nanny cams or corporate espionage. And hidden in the air duct above the living room was another one. There were 3 in total. Someone had installed them before I got there. Before I told anyone where I was going. Before I ever arrived. That night, I couldn't sleep. Hannah's place was cleared and secured by police. They stayed out front in a car. But it didn't matter. Because the fear wasn't just about being watched anymore. It was that he always seemed to be one step ahead. It wasn't just surveillance. It was orchestration. And he wasn't just watching. He was performing. For me. For my followers. For the viewers. For himself. The next morning, I got an email. From a name I didn't recognize, silentviewer404@protonmail.com. Subject. Finale soon, smiley face, hope you're watching. Attached, a video file. I didn't open it. I forwarded it straight to the police. But curiosity ate away at me. So I checked YouTube. My channel was still set to private. But there was a new upload on the stalker's old numeric channel. Video title, audience of 1 March 1st, 24. It was only 45 seconds long. It opened with static. Then a hallway. Dimly lit. Beige carpet. Old door. A hand reached forward and knocked twice. The door creaked open. Inside was a new room I didn't recognize. Empty. White walls. Bare mattress. Single light bulb hanging. And then, something written on the wall in black marker. I squinted. It said, "We're almost ready for your final episode." Then the camera turned and showed a table. With a laptop. Streaming. My channel. My face. My videos. Playing in a loop. And in the corner, the live icon blinked again. I don't know where the room is. Police are still tracing things. But the message was clear. He's building something. Preparing something. For me. And somewhere, whether it's in the city or the woods or behind the next door I open, he's waiting. With cameras. With a script. With an ending I don't want to see. The word finale haunted me. Ever since I opened that email, the one with the video of the room, the laptop streaming my videos, and those words scribbled on the wall, I'd been replaying everything he ever did in my head, wondering what I missed. What pattern I hadn't seen. What trap I was already inside. Because that's what it felt like now. Like I was walking through a maze someone else had built. Every turn already decided. Every step recorded. Every breath watched. And he wanted it to end. But on camera. The FBI got involved. That was the only silver lining. After the police recovered 3 separate spy cams from Hannah's house, and confirmed the IP address from the livestream had been masked through 7 VPNs across 4 countries, the feds stepped in. Cyberstalking. Interstate threat. Identity theft. Unauthorized access to digital property. Whatever the charges were, they meant I now had to contact Agent Dana Price. She was sharp, no nonsense, in her early 40s. Thin voice. Tired eyes. She spoke in short, clipped sentences that made you feel like you were being cross-examined even when she was being kind. She called the stalker an elevated actor. He's not just watching. He's crafting a narrative. That's what she told me on our first video call. These live streams, the photos, the USB. They're all production. He's a one-man reality show with one audience in mind, you. I asked her the question that haunted me more than anything. Why me? She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, because you talked back. What? That first comment. The one about watching you sleep. You deleted it. That's a response. Most people ignore the first message. You didn't. I wanted to argue. Say it wasn't my fault. But I didn't. Because somewhere deep down, I knew it didn't matter. This was never about why he picked me. It was about what he wanted me to do next. I stayed at a safe house. Government issued. Anonymous. Clean. A small 2-bedroom unit near Milwaukee with no address listing, no Wi-Fi, no mailbox. It had a landline. That was it. Agent Price said I'd be safe there. I didn't believe her. But I stayed anyway. The first 2 days were quiet. I read. I tried to sleep. I stared at the blank TV screen like it might turn on by itself. And then on the 3rd night, at exactly 3 a.m., the landline rang. I let it go to voicemail. No message. But it rang again the next night. 3 a.m., exactly. Still no voicemail. Just 3 rings. Then silence. Agent Price said to unplug the phone. I did. It didn't matter. Because the next night, there was a note slid under the front door. It said, "Rolling in 5. That was it. No name. No signature. Just those words. And the handwriting. It was mine. Identical. Like someone had traced a letter I'd written. I felt my throat tighten. Like the air was thick. I opened the door, ready to scream, chase, something. But there was no one there. Just a single red dot blinking across the street, on top of a power box. A camera. He'd found me. Again. That morning, my YouTube channel posted a new short. I hadn't uploaded anything. Video title, Finale Trailer, Live in 48 Hours. The thumbnail was just black with white letters, Goodbye Casey, smiley face. The video was only 14 seconds long. It opened with static. Then, rapid flashes of moments from the last month, the first comment, the sleep footage, the closet, the photo of Hannah, the vent camera. All spliced together. Then the screen went black. And a countdown appeared. 47:59. 47:58. The comments were already pouring in. No way this is real. Casey's back? This is an ARG, right? I heard this whole thing scripted. Genius marketing. I saw her last night in Milwaukee, swear to God. She's dead and this is someone else uploading. Agent Price told me not to respond. Let him run the clock, she said. We'll catch him when he goes live. I wasn't so sure. He had dodged every trace, every trap. No fingerprints. No DNA. No confirmed sightings. Whoever he was, he didn't make mistakes. I didn't think he was going to now. The next night, I did something stupid. I checked the old channel, the one he used to post the early videos, 8240-3492-8831. It hadn't posted in weeks. But now it had a new video, unlisted. Title, Behind the Scenes. I clicked it. It was quiet at first. Just a camera facing a white wall. A cheap wooden chair. No sound. Then, after maybe 30 seconds, a figure walked in. Black hoodie. Mask. Gloves. He sat in the chair. Pulled out a laptop. Opened a folder titled Casey. Inside, video files. Hundreds of them. All named with timestamps. Then he clicked open a file. Me, brushing my teeth in Liv's bathroom. He watched it silently. Tilted his head slightly. Like he was studying it. Then he turned to the camera. Still masked. And he said, in that same distorted voice. Do you want to know how this ends, Casey? Then he held up a USB stick. And the screen went black. I unplugged the laptop. Smashed the screen shut. Paced the room for hours. He wanted me to watch. He needed me to. This wasn't a finale, it was a performance. The final act. And I was still just the lead. But for the first time, I didn't feel like the victim. I felt like the bait. The countdown ticked on. 12 hours left. Then 6. Then 3. Agent Price told me they'd narrowed the livestream signal triangulation to a 4-mile radius in downtown Chicago. The stream was scheduled to go live at 3 a.m. Of course. They would be ready. Units were already in place. I just had to sit tight. But at 2:08 a.m., a knock came at the safe house door. 3 soft taps. Then a pause. Then 2 more. Exactly like the knock in his video. I froze. Grabbed the landline. No dial tone. Dead. I backed away, step by step. The knock came again. 3 taps. Then 2. I ran to the bathroom, locked the door, braced myself against it. My heart was in my throat. Then, the lights went out. My phone lit up. A text. Unknown number. You ready? Smiley face. And then a link. I didn't click it. But a second later, I didn't have to. Because my phone started streaming. I didn't even touch it. Just like that, it opened to YouTube. Live. The screen was black. Then the camera turned on. And I saw myself. On the other side of the bathroom mirror. There was a camera behind the glass. Streaming. Live. Right now. The bathroom mirror was old. It had a chip in the bottom left corner and small black dots forming at the edges where the silver backing had worn away. I'd stared into it a dozen times since I got to the safe house. But until now, I hadn't realized what was behind it. Now, watching it stream my own reflection, I saw the truth. There was a camera embedded behind the glass. Not mounted. Not taped. Built in. Like it had always been there. I did what anyone would do. I screamed. Not the horror movie kind of scream, not sharp or theatrical. It came out raw and primal. Like something clawed its way out of my throat and refused to stop. I backed away from the mirror and grabbed the towel bar, yanked it hard enough to break it off the wall. Then I swung. The mirror cracked but didn't shatter. I hit it again. And again. Behind it, I saw wires. Not just a camera. A network. Cables snaked through the wall, running in both directions. Left toward the bedroom. Right toward the kitchen. How deep did this go? How long had it been here? Had someone installed all this before I moved in? Or worse, was the house already wired before the FBI ever put me there? I called Agent Price. No answer. Tried again. Straight to voicemail. Then my phone buzzed. Another message. From the same anonymous number. Check the vent behind the fridge, smiley face. I didn't want to. But I did. I pushed the fridge forward. It scraped loudly against the tile. There, at floor level, was a narrow vent. Normal looking. Except it wasn't dusty. Not like it should have been. And one of the screws was loose. I pulled it off. Inside was a tiny envelope. No name. No address. Just a single word written in block letters. Script. I opened it. Inside were printed pages. Typed in courier font like a screenplay. Scene 1, INT. Safe house, night. Casey sits on the edge of the tub, clutching a towel bar. She breathes heavily. The camera behind the mirror records everything. Scene 2, INT. Safe house, kitchen, continuous. Casey opens the vent. She finds the envelope. She reads the word script. She starts crying. I dropped the pages. Stepped back. My hands were shaking so bad I couldn't hold on to anything. It was all written out. Everything I'd just done. Word for word. I ran to the kitchen door. Locked. I checked the windows. Also locked. But not with latches, with screws. Not removable from inside. The front door was the same. The deadbolt wasn't even real, just a faceplate over an empty slot. I was never supposed to leave. The safe house wasn't a refuge. It was a set. I went room to room. Tearing open cabinets. Checking under rugs. Peeling back wallpaper. I found 4 more cameras. 2 in vents. 1 in a smoke detector. 1 in the ceiling light fixture. Each one was marked with a tiny serial number, C404. I didn't know what it meant. But the 404 made my skin crawl. Like a dead link. Like something missing. Like me. The livestream kept going. Still on my phone. Thousands watching. The chat was exploding. This is performance art, right? She's really good at pretending to be scared. What if this is actually real? The script thing was a nice touch. Bro, this girl is not acting. She's really crying. They didn't get it. Or maybe they did. Maybe they just didn't care. People don't look away from a car crash. Even when they know someone's inside. 2:42 a.m. I sat in the corner of the bedroom, knees drawn to my chest. The phone buzzed again. Scene 5 incoming. Hope your camera ready. Then the lights in the house flickered. Just once. But it was enough. The cameras clicked. Like they were adjusting focus. Like they were waking up. I heard a sound from the wall. A thud. Then another. Coming from behind the drywall. Close. Measured. I stood. Pressed my ear to the wall. Something scraped across the other side. A deliberate movement. Then a voice. Muffled. Familiar. Scene 6. Rolling. I screamed and backed away, knocking over a lamp. And then the closet door creaked open. But I hadn't touched it. Inside was darkness. Deeper than it should have been. Too deep. Like there was space behind the closet that shouldn't exist. I stepped closer. There were footprints in the dust. Men's shoes. Leading inward. I reached for the flashlight in the drawer and shone it inside. The back wall had been cut open. Sloppily. Knife marks. Hammer dents. Plywood peeled away. And behind it. A crawl space. I didn't want to go in. But I didn't want to stay out either. Because someone had been in there. And someone could be again. So I climbed in. The air was dry. Close. The smell of plaster and old wood and wires. I crawled forward, holding the flashlight in one hand, knees scraping along beams. The tunnel twisted sharply. Left. Then down. And suddenly, I saw it. A small room. Hidden behind the wall. It was a control center. 2 monitors. A soundboard. Switches and routers and glowing green buttons. And at the center, a laptop. Streaming. My stream. I saw myself on the screen, crouched in the tunnel. Then the camera zoomed in, and I realized it was watching me in real time. I turned around. There was a camera just a few feet behind me, mounted inside the crawlspace. A red light blinked. Recording. The laptop beeped. A prompt appeared. Upload final episode? Yes/no. My hand hovered over the touchpad. I didn't click anything. And then, from the dark behind me, came the soft click of a flashlight. A new beam of light. Someone else in the tunnel. Someone behind me. I turned and ran. Crawled, really fast as I could. Elbows bruising, knees slamming into boards. Behind me, footsteps echoed. He was there. In the walls. Following me. The stream was still running. Thousands were watching. Maybe tens of thousands. And not one of them could help. I burst back into the bedroom, slammed the closet door, jammed a chair under the knob. Then I ripped the phone charger from the wall and stabbed it into the outlet. Sparks flew. The power cut. All the lights went out. All the cameras went dead. The stream ended. Finally. I collapsed on the floor. In the dark. No phone. No light. No internet. No watchers. Just me. Breathing. Alive. For now. But I knew it wasn't over. Because he hadn't caught me. Because I'd ruined his scene. And because somewhere, behind some other wall, he was rewriting the script. Planning the next act. And this time, he wouldn't let me run. Part 6, 404. There's a special kind of silence that only comes after something terrible almost happens. It's not peaceful. It's loaded. The power was still out. The cameras were dead. I had jammed the closet shut with a chair, and I'd been sitting in the corner of the bedroom, knees to my chest, for what felt like hours. But the question kept echoing through my head like it had been injected there. What is 404? Those serial numbers, the ones on the hidden cameras. All of them ended in C404. The number showed up in the stalker's email handle, silentviewer404@protonmail.com. The code on the hard drive I found in the crawlspace? Labeled Final 404. Even the countdown in the finale trailer video stopped at exactly 404 before going black. I knew what 404 meant in tech terms: file not found. A dead page. A broken link. But what if, to him, it meant something else? Something or someone he'd lost? Agent Price returned at dawn. The safe house had been compromised. Completely wired. She was furious, not at me, but at the people who set the place up. It should have been secure. It had been cleared. Triple-checked. So how had he gotten inside? The same way he always did. By being already there. They moved me again. This time, to an FBI facility. Not a house. Not a rented unit. A real federal compound. Brick walls, cameras I could see, agents stationed outside. I hated it. Because for once, I was certain the cameras weren't just hidden, they were watching me for the right reasons. But after everything that had happened, I couldn't relax. I couldn't sleep. I was twitchy. Angry. spiraling. I'd been turned into a show. I had no control. So I decided to take it back. I asked Agent Price to show me everything. Every file. Every video. Every piece of evidence they'd collected so far. She resisted at first, protocol, active investigation, blah blah, but eventually relented. She brought me a tablet with a folder of files. I wasn't allowed to copy anything. Just view. I opened it. At the top, Stalker Subject 404, case file. I clicked into the video archive. Most of them I recognized, my own footage, re-uploads of the streams, a few packages I'd handed over. But one video stood out. It was older than the rest. File name, subject_K_404.mp4, date, November 19, 2021. Duration, 1 hour 42 minutes and 33 seconds. I opened it. It started with a girl. Younger than me. Maybe 19, 20. Brown hair. White eyes. Her name tag said Kelsey. The video was a vlog. Just like mine. Same style, same setup, a Canon DSLR propped on a stack of books, fairy lights in the background, bedroom walls covered in posters. "Hey guys," she said. "Welcome back to my channel. I've got kind of a weird update." Her voice trembled. She kept glancing off camera, nervous. Then the video cut. Jumped. Hard. Now it was dark. The footage switched to night vision, same eerie green tint I'd seen in the videos of me sleeping. Kelsey was lying in bed. The camera was filming her from a corner. She stirred. Sat up. Looked directly at the lens, like she could feel it, even if she couldn't see it. Then she whispered something. "Is someone there?" The camera zoomed in. And then the feed cut. The next section was different. Not surveillance. Not staged. It was raw. Shaky footage of someone, probably Kelsey, walking down a hallway with a flashlight, breathing hard. Whispering to herself. He said I'd be next. He said I'd be the ending. The light swung wildly. The door at the end of the hall was open. And just before the feed cut, I saw something scratched into the doorframe. 404. I paused the video. Heart racing. I turned to Agent Price, who was leaning against the wall, arms folded. "Who is she?" Price sighed. "Kelsey Durand. Small-time YouTuber. Disappeared in late 2021. No signs of forced entry. No leads. Her channel was wiped a week later. And the stalker. Same pattern. Comments. Packages. Footage from inside her home. Only back then, we didn't realize it was connected. Wife 404. She looked at me. Eyes tired. Heavy. Because Kelsey's case was the first to go cold. All files, evidence, accounts, wiped clean. No digital trail. She became a ghost. A file not found. So he named her that? We think she was his first failed finale. The one that didn't end how he wanted. And I'm his sequel. I didn't know what to say. I just kept staring at the screen. Watching the static. Listening to the silence between frames. Later that night, a new video dropped. Not on my channel. Not on his numeric one either. It was on a new channel. One that had been dormant since 2019. Username, 404 returns. The only video was titled, Final 404 Live Soon. The thumbnail? Me and Kelsey. Side by side. Split screen. Both of us staring directly into the lens. But I had never taken that photo. It had been edited together, seamlessly. I played the video. It was just a teaser. 10 seconds of darkness. Then his voice. One ended too early. One lasted too long. Let's get it right this time. And then, just like before, a countdown. 72:00. 71:59. I turned to Agent Price. He's not done. No, she said. He's just starting. The next morning, the feds launched a full digital sweep. Tracked every IP the new channel touched. Cross-referenced with old addresses linked to the Kelsey case. One result came back weird. A shared address hit both Kelsey's uploads and mine, in metadata. Not a home address. An old public library in a town called Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. I'd never heard of it. But Kelsey had grown up there. And my third vlog, the one with the sleep footage that started this all, had data pointing there too. Impossible. I had never been. Or so I thought. Agent Price pulled a DMV record. 2 years ago, I passed through Glenshaw on a sponsored road trip for a travel brand. Spent a night in a motel. Uploaded from my phone. Didn't remember a thing about it. But apparently, someone remembered me. That afternoon, we flew to Glenshaw. Small town. Empty streets. A diner, a pharmacy, a shuttered video store. The library was at the center, a gray brick cube with broken windows and a temporarily closed sign that had been hanging since 2020. We got in with a warrant. Inside, dust, silence, and a handful of abandoned tech terminals. But behind the front desk, we found it. A room labeled Media Archive. Door locked. Barricaded from the inside. We forced it open. And what we found made me sick. Stacks of VHS tapes. Hard drives. Photos. Dozens of women. Vloggers. Streamers. Gamers. Artists. ASMR creators. Some famous. Some unknown. All of them filmed. All of them watched. And many of them were listed as missing. There was a board on the wall. Post-it notes. Screen grabs. Maps. At the center, one word written in red ink. Cast. We weren't victims. We were characters. And the show wasn't over yet. The archive wasn't just a room. It was a mausoleum. Stacks of hard drives filled old filing cabinets. VHS tapes lined rusted metal shelves, their white spine labels handwritten with names, dates, and single letters like C, K, or D, all neatly categorized like someone had created their own twisted Dewey Decimal System for obsession. Agent Price and the FBI techs moved like ghosts through the space. Quiet. Gloves on. Cameras recording. Evidence bags unzipped. I didn't move. I just stood there in the center, eyes flicking from name to name on the shelves. Some I recognized. Most I didn't. One entire section was labeled cast. Another, rejected. And in the far back corner, a shelf labeled finalists. There were only 2 tapes there. One read, K_404. The other, C_404. That's you, Agent Price said softly behind me. I nodded. She walked ahead, picked up my tape with careful hands, and set it into a battered old VHS player the team had found tucked under a desk. The grainy image filled the small TV screen. It was me. Sitting in my old apartment. The very first video I ever posted to YouTube, my makeup starter kit vlog. I'd long since deleted it. Embarrassed by how shaky and awkward I'd been. But he had it. He'd saved it. And not just saved it, recorded it from a second angle. Because the next shot wasn't mine. It was from across the street. Looking through the window. Watching me film. How, I started, but my voice cracked. Agent Price didn't answer. She didn't have to. Whoever 404 was, he'd been watching me since before I even knew who he was. Maybe before I even knew what I was doing. Since day one. And I wasn't the first. The Kelsey tape was worse. It started the same, cheerful, if awkward, vlog footage from her bedroom. Then jump cuts. Silent sequences of her brushing her hair. Turning off her lights. Sleeping. The audio hissed with analog noise. Occasionally, there was a voice. Garbled. Warped. Try again. Scene 3 was better. Get it right this time. Then, a sudden burst of static. A new shot, Kelsey standing in a white room. The walls were blank. She was barefoot. She looked terrified. She turned toward the camera. Said one word. Please. Then it cut to black. Agent Price turned off the TV. No one said a word. We just stood there, surrounded by the dead. That night, I couldn't sleep. The FBI had relocated me to a secure hotel near Pittsburgh. New agents. New room. Still watched, but this time with transparency. No hidden cameras. No vents. No crawl spaces. I knew, because I checked every inch myself. But it didn't matter. Because when I closed my eyes, all I could see was her. Kelsey. In that white room. Saying please. And somewhere deep in my stomach, I knew. He wanted to put me there next. At 3:33 a.m., my hotel TV turned on by itself. No sound. Just a black screen. Then white letters faded in. Act 3 begins now. I scrambled for the remote, tried to turn it off, nothing worked. A new message replaced the first. Audience ready. Are you? I ripped the power cord from the wall. Silence. Darkness. And then my phone buzzed. Blocked number. Hope you liked the archive. It's almost time for your big scene. Final girl energy, smiley face. Attached was a photo. Not of me. Not of Kelsey. Of Agent Price. Sitting alone in a diner booth. Tonight. I called her immediately. No answer. I called the local bureau. They dispatched a team. 20 minutes later, I got a call back. She was fine. Still at the diner. But the photo. It had been taken from inside the building. And no one saw who took it. We both knew what it meant. The stalker was getting bolder. He wasn't just watching anymore. He was taunting. Controlling. And the final act was approaching. The FBI let me access the archive footage the next day. I went back with Agent Price. I had one question. How many tapes have names we don't know? She didn't want to answer. But finally, she said, 13. 13 women. All taped. All labeled. But none reported missing. No open cases. No reports. It was like they'd just disappeared. Like Kelsey. Like me, almost. The team was working on facial recognition, trying to match them. But time was running out. Because the final 404 channel was now live streaming a countdown again. 12 hours. At hour 6, a new video was posted. No title. Just static for 20 seconds. Then a slow pan of a familiar hallway. I recognized the wallpaper. The bathroom door. It was my old apartment. But something was off. At the end of the hallway, the bedroom door was wide open. And on the floor, in a circle of candles, was a camera. Streaming. From the ceiling above, a wire dangled a microphone. It was a set. My apartment had been reconstructed. And written on the wall behind the bed was the phrase, "The final scene must be perfect." Agent Price and the team traced the footage to an abandoned TV studio just outside Chicago. It used to film public access shows in the early 2000s. Had been shuttered for years. They sent in drones. And what they found inside made my stomach drop. The white room. The one Kelsey was in. It was real. Still there. Still lit. still wired for sound and video. And next to it, a perfect replica of my apartment. Furniture, layout, color scheme, all exact. Down to the blue fuzzy socks in the laundry basket. He had built the stage. Now all he needed was his star. They rated it at 2 a.m. I wasn't there. But I watched it all live through a secure feed. Agents stormed in with guns drawn. Room by room. Shouting. Sweeping. But there was no one inside. No stalker. No signs of recent use. Just cameras. And a single note taped to the inside of the bedroom door. Cut to black. And on the desk next to it, a new VHS tape. C_404, final. Agent Price played it for me an hour later. I could barely bring myself to watch. The tape began with static. Then a slow fade in. The white room. Empty. A timer in the corner. 4 minutes and 4 seconds. It began to count down. As it hit 0, the screen went black. And a final message appeared. Next upload, when the audience stops watching. We stared at the screen in silence. Then Agent Price whispered. He's not done. He's just waiting. I nodded. Because I finally understood. This was never about hurting me. Not really. It was about building a show that couldn't be turned off. And as long as the audience kept watching, he'd keep filming. Part 8, Dead Link. Next upload, when the audience stops watching. That phrase haunted me. It wasn't a warning. It was a promise. I didn't sleep after we watched that tape. I couldn't. Not even in the guarded hotel with 2 federal agents stationed outside my door and cameras pointed at every hallway. Because now, the fear wasn't about being watched. It was about what happens when people stop. Because he was never just a stalker. Not really. 404 was a director. And I was living in the longest, slowest, most terrifying episode he had ever made. He didn't need to keep watching me anymore. Because now, the world was. The view count on the final 404 teaser passed 1.7 million overnight. It wasn't even listed. People were sharing it in Discord servers, Reddit threads, private Telegram groups. Fan theories exploded. ARG subreddits tried to piece together clues. Reaction channels uploaded frame-by-frame breakdowns of the last livestreams. One person even flew to Glenshaw to try and sneak into the archive site before the FBI sealed it. It's genius. This is better than Black Mirror. Whoever's behind this deserves a Netflix deal. It's probably AI. Or a studio. They thought it was a game. They didn't realize it was my life. At noon, a new video dropped. Same channel. Title, Dead Link. The thumbnail showed a blurred image of a figure, faceless, standing in front of a server rack. The video opened with white text on a black screen. This video is not for you, Casey. This is for them. They're the reason this hasn't ended. Then, a distorted voice, his voice, spoke over glitchy footage of the archive room, the white cell, my old apartment, and finally, me. Clips I never filmed. Clips I'd never seen. Clips of me in the FBI hotel, brushing my hair. Eating. Crying. He still had eyes on me. Even now. Even here. How is that possible? I asked Agent Price. She had no answers. They swept my room. Again. No bugs. No lenses. No signals. But I'd learned better by now. 404 didn't need devices. He had people. That night, I opened Twitter. I hadn't posted in weeks. But my name was trending. Hashtag Casey Harper, hashtag finale 404, hashtag deadlink, hashtag who is 404. Accounts were posting clips of me from videos that had never been released. Is this leaked? How did they get this angle? This video isn't on her channel. Then someone posted something that stopped my heart. A screenshot from inside my FBI hotel room. Me, asleep. Taken from the foot of the bed. Uploaded to a burner account with the caption, Episode 8 leaked early, smiling face with horns. I want out. I told Agent Price that night. This has to stop. She nodded. But her eyes said what we both knew. We weren't the ones in control anymore. That's when I made a decision. If I couldn't hide from the audience, maybe I could turn it against him. I needed to take back the narrative. So I asked for access to a secure laptop and a blank burner account. And I uploaded a video. Video title, I'm not playing anymore. I stared straight into the lens. Raw. No makeup. No edits. Just me. And I talked. For 20 straight minutes. About everything. The first comment. The nightcam footage. The archive. Kelsey. The crawl spaces. The white room. I didn't care who believed me anymore. I only wanted to send one message. You're not watching a show. You're helping him make it. Every like, every comment, every share, it keeps him going. This isn't a mystery to solve. This is a crime you're participating in. Stop watching. Let it die. I uploaded it. Went dark again. No comments allowed. Just silence. It didn't work. If anything, it made things worse. Reactions exploded. This confirms it's real. She's breaking character. Brilliant twist. The protagonist goes rogue. Fan pages doubled in size overnight. Edits. Memes. Documentaries. People started cosplaying as me. As 404. Even Kelsey. It was a circus. And I was the unwilling ringmaster. Then I got the final message. A new Proton Mail account. Untraceable. Subject line, it's time. The body was just a single line of code. I sent it to Agent Price. Her team cracked it in an hour. It was a live stream key. A private YouTube stream. Ready to go. Scheduled for tomorrow. 3:33 a.m. Preloaded. Preconfigured. GPS locked. The coordinates? The white room. Don't go, Agent Price said. I looked at her. I'm not going. But I didn't sleep. I stayed up all night watching the clock. And at exactly 3:33 a.m., the stream went live. I wasn't there. But someone was. The screen lit up with white light. The camera panned the room. Empty. Then, a sound. A door creaking open. And someone stepped into the frame. Wearing my clothes. My face. It was me. Or someone who looked just like me. A mask? AI? A deep fake? I didn't know. But the voice, when it spoke, was mine. I'm ready for the final scene. Then the camera began to spin. And the walls started to close in. Literally. Mechanical walls. Moving inward. And just before the screen went dark, she, the other me, whispered. Cut to black. The stream ended. Millions watched. And for once, no one clapped. The comments stopped. The theories went quiet. The subreddit shut itself down. And hashtag Casey Harper vanished from trending. It was like the audience finally blinked. Like they had just now realized. They'd watched someone die. Even if they didn't know for sure whether it was real. Even if it wasn't really me. The next morning, a package arrived at the FBI field office. No return address. Inside, a single USB. And a photo. Of the white room. Now empty. Clean. Reset. Wiped. And written on the wall. Episode complete. Agent Price turned to me that afternoon. She said, "You're free." But I didn't feel free. I felt erased. Because I knew the truth. He didn't kill me. He killed my audience. And now, he's waiting for the next one. They told me it was over. They said the final stream had ended, the audience had dispersed, and 404 had gone silent. No more live streams. No more USBs. No more late night messages. Agent Price even said the phrase I had waited months to hear. "You're in the clear." But I didn't feel clear. Because endings aren't real. Not online. Especially not when people can just scroll up and replay everything. The FBI moved me again. This time, to a remote safe house in Oregon. Woods, wind, no Wi-Fi. They called it a reset. The only internet access was through a secured satellite connection monitored 24/7. No browser. No social media. No YouTube. I was, for the first time in over a decade, completely offline. And for a few days, it actually felt like peace. I slept. I walked. I breathed. But the silence left space for something worse. A question I hadn't let myself ask until now. Was that really the end? Or had 404 simply changed the channel? On day 6, I heard a knock. Not on the door. On the window. 3 taps. Soft. Intentional. It was 2:04 a.m. I froze in the hallway. My flashlight flickered. The wind was blowing hard. Trees creaked. Branches swayed. But I knew that knock. The same pattern from the safe house. From the stream. From the script. I pulled the curtain aside. Nothing. Just woods. When I turned back, my laptop was awake. Open to a text document I hadn't created. One line of text blinked on the screen. shadow.ban/initiate_? Then below it. Y/N. I stared at it. No browser open. No email. Just a .txt file. I didn't type it. And the document was marked. Created, 2:04 a.m. modified, live. I shut the laptop and called the field office. Agent Price was already awake. She told me to sit tight. They scrambled a team. The woods were swept. No tracks. No prints. No signs of forced access. But we both knew better. 404 didn't break in. He was already in. The laptop. The cameras. Maybe even the walls. Again. That night, I gave in. I reconnected the Wi-Fi. Opened a browser. Typed Casey Harper into the search bar. Nothing came up. Not my channel. Not my name. Not even the news articles about the case. It was like I'd been scrubbed. Not deplatformed, deleted. No record. No videos. No hashtags. Nothing. 404 hadn't killed me. He'd shadow banned me from the internet itself. And that's when I found the new channel. Hidden. Buried under layers of dead links and redirects. It had no name. Just a symbol, circle /0. Null. Broken circle. It had only one video. Title, New Casting Call. I clicked. It was silent at first. Just a black screen. Then words appeared in slow white type. The final girl has exited. Now casting, our next lead. You. Then, a rapid-fire montage. Asterisk clips of me, walking through the archive. Asterisk a woman I'd never seen before, live streaming from a public park. Asterisk a man at a desk, recording a day in the life of a tech bro vlog. Asterisk a teenage girl filming a what's in my backpack TikTok. All being watched from hidden angles. All unknowing. All being cast. Then the screen cut to black. And one final message appeared. The show doesn't end. It just gets recast. Agent Price confirmed it. We were too late. 404 had gone franchise. And he wasn't alone anymore. 3 days later, a new influencer disappeared. Naomi Reyes, 19, beauty vlogger, 500k subs. Last seen entering her apartment in LA. Her security cam footage was corrupted. Her laptop gone. In her place, a VHS tape labeled N_404. It was the same pattern. But different handwriting. Rougher. Angrier. Like someone was copying 404's method, but Messier. Agent Price called it the syndicate theory. We thought we were chasing one man. Now we think we were watching the birth of a genre. Copycats. Mimics. True crime junkies turned predators. And the worst part? The audience had returned. Reddit threads reopened. 404 watch lists popped back up. Users shared theories. Maps. Facial recognition breakdowns. Some tried to help. But most just watched. Like they always had. And one comment kept getting posted across every new thread. Casey Harper was just the pilot. I had to do something. So I reached out to the only person who might understand. Someone I thought was gone. Someone I hadn't dared to believe was still alive. Kelsey. I sent a message through an encrypted forum connected to an old, dead ARG channel that had once featured clips from her archive. If you're out there, I need to know. Please. You were first. I need help ending this. I didn't expect a reply. But 10 minutes later, one came. I never died. I just went offline. We met in a parking garage in Detroit. Neutral ground. No phones. No cameras. And when I saw her, I almost cried. She looked older, harder. Hair dyed. Eyes scanning everything like she was still trapped in a room with no doors. We sat in her car. She didn't smile. You know there's more than one, right? She said. I do now. They don't care if we live. They care if people watch. How did you get out? She looked at me. I didn't. I just stopped performing. Kelsey told me the secret. 404 wasn't one person. It started as a man, yes. But over time, others joined in. Disciples. Viewers who wanted to become directors. Each one took a new cast member, filmed their own version. Some failed. Some vanished. Some, like her, and maybe like me, slipped the script. Stopped playing the role. Went off-grid. And the directors lost interest. They don't want survivors, she said. They want finales. So we made a plan. To kill the stream. Not by shutting it down, that never worked. But by giving the audience what they could never replay. Nothing. No twist. No reveal. No chase. No answers. Just silence. We found the next girl, Naomi's younger sister, Lena. A gamer. Twitch streamer. Already being watched. Already targeted. We warned her. We intercepted the next package. It held a script. A camera. And a map. The same beats. Same scene. Lena was terrified. But she agreed to help. We staged the finale. But this time, we controlled the feed. We let the audience watch Lena enter the white room. She looked into the camera. She said, "This isn't a show. This isn't a finale. This is a shadow ban." Then the lights cut. The camera melted to black. And the stream went offline. For good. A week passed. No new uploads. No casting calls. No countdowns. The subreddit went dark. The YouTube account stopped. And for the first time in months, there was nothing. But I know 404 isn't gone. He's just waiting. Watching. Because silence isn't the end. It's just the space between scenes. And somewhere, behind some unlisted link or dormant burner channel, the next script is already being written. There's a rule in horror movies. The final girl always survives. She escapes the killer. Lives to tell the tale. Walks away, bloodied but alive. I used to believe that. Now I know better. The real final girl doesn't survive. She just keeps going, because the show won't let her stop. It's been 67 days since we shut down the Lena stream. Since we burned the map. Destroyed the script. Cut the power. Since the feeds went dead. Kelsey and I stayed off-grid. Different cities. Different burner phones. Never the same place twice. We used code names now. Scrambled our metadata. Rode public transit when we had to move. We called it ghosting. I should have felt safe. But I didn't. Because a week ago, I saw it. Another VHS tape. This one delivered to a P.O. box I never registered under my name. Labeled C_404 rendition. It was a remix. Clips of me, but out of order. Me brushing my hair. Me eating in Liv's apartment. Me in the white room. Except, I'd never been in the white room. Not physically. Not like Kelsey. But there I was. Footage that didn't exist, unless someone had created it. The lighting. The color grade. The posture. All perfect. Like I'd been deep-faked into it. Kelsey watched it in silence. When it ended, she said, "They're rewriting your ending. I thought we beat them. You don't beat the audience. You just lose them. And when they come back..." She trailed off. I didn't need her to finish. Because I already knew. They were watching again. The subreddit came back first. Renamed. Rebranded. r/the final girl files. Thousands of members. Theories. Watch lists. New names started circulating. Who's next? What happened to Kelsey, really? Casey's alive. I saw her in Detroit. Someone posted GPS coordinates. My last known location. It got 12,000 upvotes in 4 hours. Then came the ARG channels. Unlisted videos. Puzzle links. Clips from the Lena stream that were never supposed to be saved, but had been screen recorded anyway. And finally, a countdown clock on a new website. thefanalgil.live. Time ticking down from 72 hours. I called Kelsey. "We have to run." She paused. "No. We finish it." "We already did." "No. He didn't." That night, I got a message. No sender. No subject. Just a file. When I opened it, a video autoplayed. A grainy livestream. Empty white room. Then a door opened. A girl stepped in. Tiny. Thin. Blonde. Maybe 16. She looked scared. She was wearing my clothes. Holding a Polaroid. She held it up to the camera. It was me. Sleeping. Last night. I froze. Paused the video. Zoomed in. That wasn't a deep fake. That was real. That was my bedspread. The tear in my curtain. The scar on my wrist from a childhood accident. They'd been in my room again. Even after everything. And they'd found another girl to play me. Kelsey had a plan. She said if they wanted a finale, we'd give them one. But on our terms. We'd go back to the white room. Wire it ourselves. Bring a live signal. Broadcast the truth. No script. No edits. Just reality. I didn't like it. But I knew she was right. If we didn't end the story, someone else would. Someone younger. Someone less lucky. We got there before sunrise. The studio was still abandoned. Same broken windows. Same rusted locks. But someone had restored the power. The lights were on. And inside the white room, a camera was already waiting. Plugged in. Recording. Streaming. I checked the stream key on the back. It matched the Final Girl live countdown. It was already scheduled to go live in less than 3 hours. We looked around. Same candles. Same black chair. Same mirror. And behind it, a second camera. Watching from the back. I turned to Kelsey. We're walking into a trap. We know. What if we don't make it out? Then they'll finally have their finale. We set up our own stream. Wired to a secure server. Hidden IP. 2 angles. One from the room. One handheld. No edits. No cuts. Just us. We titled it, "This is not a show." And we scheduled it to go live 60 seconds before the fake stream. When the time came, we stood in the center of the room. Kelsey held the mic. I faced the camera. And we told the truth. About 404. The tapes. The archive. The followers. The syndicate. The fact that they never stopped. That the world kept watching, even when people begged for it to stop. As we spoke, comments began pouring in. Is this real? They're back. Why is there another stream? This is too real. And finally, where's the other girl? That's when the door opened. And the girl walked in. The same one from the earlier stream. Still holding the Polaroid. Still wearing my face. Only now, I could see the seams. The mask. The trembling hands. She wasn't 404. She wasn't even an actor. She was just another cast member. I stepped toward her. She flinched. I whispered, "You don't have to do this." She said nothing. Just dropped the photo. And collapsed to her knees. Kelsey caught her. Wrapped her in a blanket. Took her out the back. I stayed. Faced the camera. And said, "This is the end. Not because the killer died. Not because the final girl lived. But because you stopped watching." Then I pulled the plug. Literally. Unplugged every camera. Smashed the backups. Took the server offline. We burned the scripts. Destroyed the mirror. And for good measure, we burned the room too. Let it rot. Let it die. Let the final scene be silence. That was 29 days ago. No new accounts. No uploads. No countdowns. We've been watching. And so far, nothing. I don't know how long it will last. Maybe forever. Maybe just until the next girl posts a haul video and gets the wrong comment. But for now, the feed is dark. The screen is blank. The script is unwritten. And the final girl? She's not watching anymore.